Before we get to everyone's questions, there's a little bit I want to share about what we know about potential PFAS in the fertilizer sold and used on Long Island. And I'll just quickly go through this. So most of the popular lawn fertilizers that are sold and used around New York contain primarily urea as their source of nitrogen. Urea is manufactured from anhydrous ammonia and contains 46% nitrogen. It's relatively cheap to manufacture, it's lightweight to transport, and so it is the source of nitrogen most often used in commercial fertilizers. The problem is it's highly water soluble, which means as soon as it rains, the nitrogen is released. Some of it is taken up by the plants, but a lot of it misses the plant and is either carried off by stormwater into our surface waters, or it leaches down below the root zone and on Long Island, eventually into our groundwater. Now, plants need a more regular source of nitrogen spread out over time. They don't need it all at once. So to make at least some of their water-soluble nitrogen last longer and release nitrogen more slowly as the plant needs it, fertilizer manufacturers began to encapsulate their urea nitrogen in a polymer coating. Polymer coating is designed to break down over time, and as the nitrogen is released, and again, some of it gets to the plants and some of it goes to the environment. In that coating process, where they're coating the urea with the polymer, just like the manufacturing for plastics, PFAS is frequently used either as a processing lubricant in the factory or to create a non-stick quality in the product. So we suspect that some lawn fertilizers might contain PFAS even if they don't contain biosolids. So last year, we had 3 well-known fertilizers tested for PFAS. The tests came back negative for the 2 types of PFAS that we tested for. But as Jillian pointed out earlier, and as others have said, there are 15,000 different PFAS chemicals. So we tested for 2 of them, and the test came back negative. But there's no way to test for them all, and testing is expensive. And so we began to contact the fertilizer companies themselves to see if they could tell us if their products contained PFAS. I'm happy to say that the products that are on our website all certified to us that their products do not contain PFAS. But when we called the customer service department of the world's largest marketer of branded consumer lawn and garden products, a company whose name I will not mention, they admitted that all of their fertilizers contained PFAS, but they refused our requests for written confirmation. So that's why part of our campaign here is to put public pressure on the manufacturers themselves to let the public know whether or not their products contain PFAS. We think consumers have a right to know that, so they can make an educated choice about whether they want to use a product that may cause environmental and human health problems. And again, I just want to mention that the fertilizers that are on the fertilizer page at liwater.org avoid using water-soluble urea as their source of nitrogen, and they contain no PFAS. So instead of depending on water and weather to break down the plastic coating, these fertilizers use the biology in the soil to break down the nitrogen and make it available to the plants, which is the way nature intended things to work. So you can actually use less of these and they will last longer.